Everybody, I hope all is well.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Call to order the November 13th, 2020 Act 78 Civil Service Commission for the City of Troy. It appears that all are here. So myself, Don McGinnis is here, Dave Cannon's here, John Steele is here. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. First thing on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the last meeting, which would have been the September 10th, 2020 meeting. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve the minutes of the last meeting as recorded.
I'll second it.
Thank you. There's a motion made by Commissioner Cannon, second by Commissioner Steele. Is there any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion for the record passes. Petitions and communication. It appears there are no petitions or communications, no reports or no old business. Is that correct, Elaine?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. Moving on to new business, item number F, approval of job qualifications, posting and test battery for the recruitment of fire chief for the fire department.
And Mr. Chair, I just want to let you know, Dave Roberts is on. He is with Sean Hugg, so he is seeing us and seeing all this present, but I believe it's Jeanette that actually wants to address this one.
All right. Well, you want to make the motion and have it on the floor? So can I hear a motion on this, please?
I'll move that we put it on the floor. I'll move for approval of the job qualifications, posting, and test battery for recruitment of fire chief for the fire department.
Second.
All right. Mr. Commissioner Cannon has made the motion and seconded by Commissioner Steele. The matter is now on the floor. Is there discussion?
Okay, that sounds like I can present some information.
Yep, it sounds like you're up.
Okay, so as I'm sure you all well know, Act 78 does require a competitive process for promotions. And to define competitive process, that means more than one candidate must qualify based on the qualifications we present in the announcement. And under our standard language that you've seen several times, standard language is 5 years in the department and 2 years in the next lower class, we wouldn't have had a competitive process. So the Act requires that we expand the applicant pool. So we reviewed the provisions in Act 78 for expanding the pool, and the draft that we present to you is what we feel expands the pool to the best qualified candidates and embodies what Act 78 is requiring for that competitive process. So I hope my explanation makes sense. We worked the chief, city manager, and Lori and Bloom and I all worked together to make sure that we thought this was a good, clear way of presenting the qualifications.
Jeanette, could you do me a favor? Could you kind of outline where the changes were? I'm looking at it here, and could you give us a brief summary of what changes were made to the posting?
Oh, gosh, that's embarrassing. I didn't pull mine up. I need just a second to pull mine up.
I can read it. You don't need to. I just, before I voted on it, I was kind of figuring I could read it. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I normally have it in the background, and I failed to do that. And I do have a little bit of a snafu because I've disconnected myself from my computer. So hold on just a second. Let me think how I can get to it and speak intelligently. I can speak somewhat intelligently from my memory without seeing it right in front, because the changes, like I said, normally the posting would be presented with requiring 5 years in class and 2 years in the next lower class. And then one of the provisions within the Act does roll it then if that is not creating a competitive evaluation. One of the things you can do is to roll to the next lower class. So there's language in there that shows that we're requiring just the 5 years in class, which opens up to the next lower class, or 5 years in the department, which opens up to the next lower class. And Does that answer your question, or should I get more
Reading
specific?
it correctly, at least 5 years of service with the Troy Fire Department as of the closing date of the announcement. Currently in the rank of Assistant Fire Chief or has achieved Step 7 Fire Chief Lieutenant. Is that the key language?
That's it.
Okay.
I did have one follow-up question. That's a good explanation, and that makes sense of why the qualifications are there. But I noticed that the assessment center part is now crossed off, and in lieu of that, it's got interview 70%, presentation 30%. My question is just, what about the assessment center? Why was that done? And then interview and presentation 70 and 30. Are they really kind of the same thing, or is there a distinction?
Good point.
Okay. I am still on. Okay. I'm going to answer the second part first because that's a little bit of the quicker response. So when we define presentation, what we've been doing in the fire department is having an oral interview, traditional sit-down questions and answers that are not known ahead of time. Regular interview questions. We don't reveal the questions ahead of time. And then we have a history for some of the lower classes that we've been filling. Then we present, before the interview, we present the candidates with a topic and ask them to prepare a presentation. Maybe the topic is, fire prevention in COVID or something like that. Whatever the topic is, they know ahead of time. They can research. They're told ahead of time who the audience is supposed to be. Is it a presentation to city council? Is it a presentation to homeowners? Is it a presentation to volunteers? So it's a presentation separate from the oral interview questions. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yep. And we've had a lot of success. We've used this in the fire department. We've used it in other positions, even City Manager Miller, you did that with your Assistant 2 position recently. So they had the opportunity to work, and it presents an interesting evaluation because the individual does have time to prepare it. So, I
didn't mean to interrupt, but that's in lieu of the assessment center, is that correct?
Correct. The first question then about why we're changing from that is it is a more expeditious process. That is not the only reason. It's number of reasons, but it is a process that we can do in-house as opposed to contracting with EMCO. And frankly, the assessment center is very valuable in a lot of ways, but it is particularly valuable if you have a larger pool of candidates. That's an opinion, I guess. I don't want to present it as fact, but it really helps separate from a larger pool of candidates because they're doing so many different aspects. And are you looking for more information than that? Because the chief may be able to weigh in a little bit as well.
Jeanette?
Thanks.
And can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Not only am I talking through a mask, but I'm leaning over Sean's shoulder. Good morning, commissioners and everyone. I would just like to add that one of the other reasons that we've decided not to do the assessment center is timing and then also cost. And although I've given 4 months notice and I'm going here in just less than 3 months, we felt that this was the most expeditious way of getting the new person into position, that I could work with that person before I leave. And also, this is a format that, as Jeanette indicated, we followed within our own ranks in the volunteers for promotion, and we've had a lot of success with it. So when it gets to the presentation point, that's almost like an assessment center portion where they're presenting, whether it be before a scenario of the city manager or city council or something like that. So it's kind of a hybrid system the way we look at it.
It makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, I bringing some of it in-house like that, I don't see a problem with that. With a small pool and for the top position particularly.
I agree with Commissioner Cannon. This pool is always going to be small. I don't think the MCO thing is necessary. A nice move. Any further discussion on this motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Record should reflect that the motion passes. We're down to item number G on the agenda. Is there any public comment? Item number H is adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
I'll second that.
Motion having been made by Commissioner Cannon, second by Commissioner Steele. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Happy Thanksgiving to all. Stay healthy.
Thanks, Don.
And
Thank you.
I'll-